those bodybuilders die at like 45, like max. Like Rich Piana's heart exploded like a car bomb, like in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Damn, I wish my legs looked like that when I wore my short shorts.
Dude,
on the
podcast.
podcast.
I wish my dick looked so tiny because of my giant legs. Dude, I wish I got so jacked no women wanted to fuck me anymore. Because it would be like
I mean, that's horrific.
Yeah,
looking.
it'd be like fucking a boulder.
It looks like an aerial view of Vietnam, like during the war.
Yeah, dude, it looks like the surface of the moon.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Like, I respect it. His channel's pretty cool, though. I do like his channel.
Yeah, it is cool to be in a tremendous amount of pain and suffering for a very finite amount of time on the planet and then die.
Yeah.
For basically no reason.
Yeah. It's better to burn out than fade away. Neil Young said that.
So is it true for the retards at home, is macros, you can just be like, I eat 2,000 calories of mac and cheese a day?
You can technically, like, if you just count calories. I mean, when I was anorexic in college, I ate, a slice of pizza and I drank 8 beers and I ran 8 miles and I lost weight doing that, Yeah. I felt like utter shit, but
Sure.
I looked very thin.
I think it's the calorie thing, right?
Yeah.
So it's true. So what you eat doesn't really matter then?
Well, I mean, for your actual health. Like, he's not actually healthy. He just looks cool.
Yes.
Oh, so macros is like you're concerned about body fat, but your organs might be failing internally because you're malnourished.
Macros, it's another form of counting calories. It's fat, protein, and carbs.
Yeah.
So if you're counting that, you're still like hitting your calories because protein has X amount of calories, carbs has X amount of calories. So you're still like counting your calories when you do that.
Like this guy's like, the outside, his body, it's like a beautiful new car.
Yeah.
But if you open up the hood, there's a dying baby inside.
Yeah, it's basically like a Cybertruck as a person.
Doesn't even look good. I don't really get it.
Yeah. I really don't think women want to have sex with that guy.
I don't know. Maybe there's some out there, but I feel like they're also jacked too. I don't know.
Those are the lesbians from Dallas. Yeah, those are the only people who fuck those guys.
Yeah.
Do you think it'd be possible for me to start lifting and taking so many steroids that I actually look like the whale?
Like, you take so much steroids, you get really fat.
Steroids to get fat?
No.
You can just eat regular American food for that.
Yeah, the cheeseburgers are your steroids.
It's full of steroids.
Yeah. You can inject cheese whiz into your ass. It's a steroid.
It would be funny. I hire a trainer for like $15,000 a month. I go to him. He's like, to start, what are your goals? And I just show him a picture of Brendan Fraser and the whale.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need to look like this in 6 months. And I'm like, I'm tapping the photo like that.
And he's like, he's like, we're shooting a sketch. And I need to gain 500 pounds.
He's like, man, I don't think I'm like, they said you were the best, man. Look, I can take my money and go somewhere else. Huh?
That would be awesome if you were like De Niro in Raging Bull. Hello. 500 pounds. Like De Niro, like in junkets after Raging Bull, and they're like, so how did you get into character? He's like, I just ate a lot of milk. Throwing up on himself. And they're like, Jesus Christ.
He wasn't supposed to be that fat at the end.
Just gaining 7 pounds in 3 days, going to like the lesbian barbecue places is just like,
yeah.
I don't know how those people there aren't like, I don't know how everybody isn't 500 pounds there, because they go hog wild. They go to town. I think the only way they burn calories is climbing up into their truck. That's pretty much it. Like pumping gas, climbing up into their truck, climbing out of the truck.
They burn calories just trying to make their lungs expand inside their bodies. Their lungs are like subs at the bottom of the ocean. It's like the pressure of the Marianas Trench in there.
Yeah, they get the bends if like they stop eating too quickly. But they black out.
I laid down to sleep too quick and I blacked out. And I got a bunch of bubbles in my veins.
They're the people that get really excited to tell you that you burn calories just by like living.
Mm-hmm.
Breathing burns calories.
Yeah, they're like, so my basic metabolic rate is 1,800 calories a day, so I consume 9,000. And that way, I only gain a pound every half day.
Man.
Yeah.
Would you just eat nonstop barbecue out there, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, but also like, you go over someone's house in Texas and they got a freezer full of anything you can think of.
Sure.
And that's the bad thing about hospitality is here you go over someone's house, they go, oh, you want a glass of water?
Mm-hmm. They're like, I got a vape if you want it.
Okay.
Yeah,
You want an elf bar?
Yeah, you want to hit some fucking nitro? Do you want to do poppers?
I feel like in Dallas, I go over someone's house. They're like, "Hey, we're all just head on back. We're all sitting in a big tub of Bluebell." And you go back, it's like Dirk Diggler and Boogie Nights.
Yeah.
Like they're all just sitting in a cherry vanilla Bluebell ice cream tub.
Guy putting Hamburger Helper in a blunt.
Oh, we heard you were coming, so we made some candy fetuses for y'all.
Dude, before I went to the airport in Dallas, I went to Krispy Kreme. And I went outside and they had a huge American flag and I just like saluted it.
Yeah.
Just fucking salute. By the way, you walk into Krispy Kreme, they give you free shit as you walk in.
Like a sampler.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
you need enough blood sugar to get out of the Krispy Kreme. So they got to give you something. Just to get through line.
They know you got
Wait, what?
The people are so fat they go through life like a video game. Like
What do you mean prank call? What do you mean?
they have to pick up a certain amount of health.
Yeah.
Before they'll die.
They assume everyone that walked in the door was like stranded and they thought it was a mirage and they like need water.
Yeah.
But it's
They're
they need a
crawling
donut
into
real
the
quick.
Krispy Kreme, but that's because their legs
Yeah.
fell off. Pepsi.
No, they handed me a donut and I was like, "Oh my god, thank you." And they go, "Oh, we give these to everybody. It's like it's a sampler," is what they said.
Yes.
But I'm looking at it, I'm like, a sampler would be like a donut hole.
Yeah.
If
They
they give you
handed
a
me an
full donut.
entire donut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they handed somebody in Texas a donut hole, they'd get shot at.
Yeah.
Guy'd be like, what gay shit is this?
Do the quick fire
Yeah.
thing from the hip.
Yeah. Guy goes to quickfire and just shoots himself in the back of the belly because it's covering his gun. It's like, oh, fuck.
The other day, I was looking up all of the Texas Rangers from the entire history of
Sure. Not the baseball team, the guys.
Yeah, who are awesome and kick ass. The Texas Rangers, they were established, in like whenever like Texas was
Sure.
like a dumbass, retarded country that was like failing like rapidly, and they were all dying and getting like killed by the Comanche.
And they're like,
Indians.
we need to stop these horse fuckers. And I guess we can send one for the Osage people. There's a ranger in Killers of the Flower Moon,
oh, that's kick ass.
played by Jesse Plemons.
I love when there's rangers in books, or Aaron Gwynn has a good book where there's a ranger in it. All God's Children, very good book. I read that the other day. Decided plugging Aaron stuff right there. But I was reading about all these Texas Rangers, and dude, some of them are so fucking retarded.
Yeah.
Like so retarded. A lot of them died when they were 30, which I guess is like kind of a long.
That's old age for them.
Yeah, I didn't realize, because you click on all of their Wikipedias, they're constantly dying.
Mm-hmm.
One guy, and by the way, their nicknames are always like James Wild Retard, like McMahon.
Yeah, James Bull Raper McManus. The retard kid.
They all have nicknames back then.
Yeah. No, they were like mobsters.
Yeah, which was really cool, actually. I wish nicknames would come back, because that was
would
like
be
a
pretty great.
cool ass thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I was reading about a guy who I was reading about a Texas Ranger who he arrested this dude who was like, they always like there's always a dude on the run because he like stole a cow.
Yes.
And then like the entire infantry chased him for like 15 years. Like the longest episode of a Looney Tunes show you've ever seen.
Yeah. 'Cause they're like, hey, we're gonna eat that.
If you're hungry, kill one of them engines. That's fine.
So these guys are like, the guys at the Texas Rangers are facing, like, they're constantly forming gangs, and they always call themselves like the diaper gang.
Yeah.
It's always the pee pee poo poo gang.
The hole in the ass gang.
And the gangs, they always get decimated completely, like immediately, like, I mean, it's like,
Yeah. They're like the hole in the ass gang was at the Battle of Gay Bighorn, and they got their skulls caved in by rocks.
it's always like you read the Wikipedia articles for each gang, and like, this gang ended when the leader of the gang stuck his head inside a cannon.
Yeah.
That he thought wasn't lit, and it was his own cannon, and blew his head off. It's literally shit like that.
Yeah, the deputy mayor, he ate too many rocks and he died. He clogged his shitter up, and he died of sepsis.
There was one guy I was reading who like they finally caught him because he like stole some guy's like bird or something, and then like
He stole a bird.
they stole like a bunch of doves. It's like, all right, lock him up and throw away the key. And then like they went to court, and then at court, the guy who was pressing charges, so badass, he stood up and he pulled like while the guy was on the stand, he shot him from across the court.
The ranger?
Whoever the guy was, the ranger was like involved because he's the law.
Oh, right.
You mean one of his partners shot the guy?
The guy who like that got his bird stolen. He was like still fucking pissed.
He just killed him in court.
He was sitting at like the prosecution table.
He was sitting and
Wow.
he pulled out his, which I guess they just let you have your gun on you back then.
Yeah, of course.
I thought it was like, a Dave Chappelle show where you got to put your phone in the zipper.
Yeah, no.
It was not. They did not have the woke mind virus in the Old West.
Back then, the judge holds everyone at gunpoint,
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
The judge bangs a gun on the big wooden disc. He's like, order, and it's firing behind him every time he bangs it.
So yeah, this guy like got shot and then he like lived, and then they let the guy that it's always up to whatever mood the judge is in. So the guy that like shot the dude, they just said like, oh, it's fine. Like he was like angry, so that guy didn't get in trouble. Then the other guy like got out of jail. And then he went back to his old tricks, like being in retarded gangs,
stealing more birds.
Yeah.
And then it said that he tried to ride a train without paying. And then when they were like, "Oh, sir, where's your ticket?" or whatever, he tried to stand up and pull his gun on the guy.
Yeah.
And as he pulled his gun out, he shot himself through the artery in his leg, and he bled out within 45 seconds and died. And he was like 29 years old, and that was his whole life.
Yeah, and now he's in history books. Because the funny thing,
there's like a museum in some bullshit town about this guy. I forget his name.
There had to be an inspiration for the Looney Tunes somewhere
Yeah.
in history, and it was these people.
well, that's my
I'm sure a pig in the distance was like, that's all, folks. As he bled out.
yeah, big cowboy spin around
Yeah.
like a dust devil.
I say, you're retarded.
The most retarded people to ever live, probably.
Well,
it's a beautiful state, the way it came about.
It's gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
It's also, I kind of realized this recently, like the thing about the Old West is the people who moved there from the coast and were like, they're like, I'm gonna make a life. There's gold out there. I'm gonna make a life from. Like they're the people who are like into like NFTs and like lost their mortgage on Dogecoin. It's like the exact same people were the guys who went out and were cowboys and are in history.
The prospectors and stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
Well, yeah, a lot of it too was people who were felons. They were criminals, and they said, well, if you want a new lease on life, go west of the whatever river that was there in Texas. I think it was the Brazos, where they go, you go out west of the Brazos, and you can have whatever land you can fetch, but in the middle of the night, you're going to wake up, and there's a guy who's going to skin you alive for 5 days straight.
There's an 8-foot tall albino who's going to cut your face off.
Yeah.
While you scream.
You had to leave where you lived because your house was destroyed by wind. So then you get on a stagecoach or a big, cattle train thing, and then you get killed by Native Americans or something.
Yeah.
It's kind of great because it is like, Texas is like Australia to me. Because it was really just occupied by the Comanche Indians, who were the greatest warriors ever. And there were tons of people who brought they're like, oh, well, the land is really cheap. Like they went out for a good deal. Yeah. Like the land is cheap, or they got enough Indian scalps that they traded it in for all this land. But it's not really, you had such a high chance of getting murdered in your sleep. Your wife getting raped to death and ripped apart limb by limb. Your kids raped and killed, and all for what? For a deal?
Did anyone ever...
For 5 acres?
Did anyone get a good night's sleep back then?
No. You probably did only when you got... booze was for sleeping.
It was, to go to bed. Yeah.
That's what hooch was for.
Yeah, because your pillow was a saddle.
Yeah, and then also, you're going to get bludgeoned to death with a donkey's jawbone. Like, you might as well just get fucked up.
Yeah,
You're tricking around a fire because you're like, yeah, an arrow might fly through my head in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, and worse, you could walk out of the peony bar and like a guy, shoots a snake at you somehow and you die. And then the whole town's just like, well, all right, who wants to rape his corpse? And they like do like a lottery over it, and then nothing happens. Like, they don't even bury you.
Yeah, there's two kids like, you got to rape the last one.
All right, now kids, you get to rape the mouth, you get to rape the ass. If you can't share it, I'm not going to let you rape anybody today.
That's why we have the story of Samson in the Bible. Wasn't he the one cutting
King
the baby?
Solomon.
Oh, King Solomon.
But they probably called him Samson.
King Solomon was the guy who cut the baby in half. You know that one. He was like the wisest guy to ever live, and that one woman claimed that a baby was hers, but then another lady said it was her baby. So then King Solomon, who's like the wisest guy ever, he goes, I know what I'll do. I'll cut the baby in half.
With a big sword.
So he like pulled out this big sword and like leveled it like on this like little newborn baby.
Yeah, like a turkey.
Yeah. And then one of the ladies said, oh, no, let her keep it. It's just let her keep it. I want the baby to live. And then King Solomon, surely this woman, it is her child because she wants the baby to live.
Yeah, because the other woman was like, kid, I don't give a fuck.